Chevy big block versus small block engines. The question of whether a car should have a big block engine or a small block engine can spark heated debates and strong opinions among car fans. Both big blocks and small blocks have their own benefits, but many drivers prefer one over the other. Now, what exactly is meant by small block? What kind of engine qualifies as a big block engine? Well, let's get into it. A small block engine is physically smaller than a big block engine. The term doesn't always apply because the manufacturer had to make engines from two different engine families at the same time. Because the engine is smaller, the pistons usually have smaller bores and shorter strokes. This means that the engine can only move a small amount of air. Small blocks usually don't have as much power, but they make up for it by being lighter. As the head of GM once put it, if you want to improve the performance of a car, simplify and add lightness. The lighter the weight, the easier it is to handle and accelerate in speed. Most engine designs aren't made with the idea of making big changes to the displacement, but with careful work. The bore diameter and stroke length can be changed to make the engine more powerful. Many parts are also interchangeable with other engines in the same family or can be upgraded. This allows people to customize and trick out their cars for the best performance. To give you a little history on the small block, Chevy had originally designed its popular small block V8 engine in 1955, which was used in the Corvette and the Bel Air. Hot rodders and sports racers noticed the small but powerful engine, which gave heavy-duty performance in a light package. It was called Mighty Mouse, with 3.75-inch bores and a 3-inch stroke. The first small block displaced just 265 cubic inches, or 4.35 liters. With a 2-barrel carburetor, the base engine produced 162 horsepower. In a Corvette with a 4-barrel carburetor, the engine was rated at 195 horsepower. Best of all, the new V8 tipped the scales at nearly 50 pounds less than the old Stovebolt 6. It was named Mighty Mouse after a popular cartoon at the time, and it quickly became the new standard for GM engines. Later, it was just called Mouse, which gave the big block engine a chance to become known as the Rat among car fans. Small block engines have changed the motor game in a number of ways. When Chevy made the small block V8, it was a big step for the automotive industry. It changed how engines were made, both by Chevrolet's parent company, General Motors, and by its rivals. The Chevy small block also became the engine of choice for hot rods, muscle cars, drag racing, and circle tracks because it was small, strong, and powerful. At the time it came out, the engine hadn't yet become synonymous with the term small block, but over time, it really started to impress people because it was light, cheap, and had almost twice as much horsepower as Ford's best-selling flathead. Alright, so that's that rundown on small block engines. But what about big block? The big block engine is bigger and heavier than the small block engine. If you figured that out all on your own, congratulations, you're a genius. With the big block engine, more power can be made with bigger bores, longer strokes, bigger valves, and bigger ports. If a boxer with a small block is quick and agile at welterweight, a heavyweight with a big block can be very dangerous. Although more power can mean more speed, this power comes with a cost: weight. Those extra pounds over a car's front axle make it harder to handle and reduce agility. So how did the Chevy big block engines come to be? When Chevrolet made the Mark I or W Series big block engines in 1958, known as the Rat, they were made to be a series of big V8 engines that could power the heavier cars that came out after World War II. It was January 1965 when Chevrolet introduced the first big block Corvette and the Chevelle. The L78 engine produced 425 horsepower with 396 cubic inches, well above the mythical 1 horsepower per cubic inch standard of the day. It was introduced mid-model year of 1965 and produced more horsepower than any of the other 396 engines manufactured from mid-1965 until the 396 production ended. The lion of the big block Chevy family would be the L88, introduced in 1967 and produced in sparse quantities through 1969. Over the years, the engine changed into the well-known 396, 427, and 454 high-performance versions, which won over auto performance fans with their consistent power. Big block engines were made to give passenger cars and light trucks more get up and go. When it first came out, it gave heavier cars the torque they needed. But like the small block before it, it quickly won the hearts of muscle car and hot rod fans. After Chevrolet came out with the big block, Ford and Chrysler also made their own small and big blocks. Most conversations about small block and big block engines today are about engines made by Chevy. However, similar engines made by other companies are just as interesting and fun to drive as those made by GM. Now, naturally, you're probably wondering, which is better, a big block or a small block engine? The pros and cons of both big block and small block engines are the same. It all comes down to what you want your engine to do. The small block weighs less, which can help it accelerate and handle better. The big block, on the other hand, has more torque, which can help it make up for the problems that come with being heavier. Overall, drivers choose which one they like based on the weight of their vehicle, how they want it to perform, and how much it costs. One isn't necessarily better than the other. It just depends on which engine is best for the job. Okay, that's it for today. If you'd like a video on other types of engines, list them in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe if you want to see more like it. All right, see y'all later.